everyone, welcome to Coders Camp. We are at very first day of November LeetCode challenge. So I have not been consistent for the past few months because I've been to getting a new job and stuff. I believe I could be consistent from today and hope you all support me as you were. So getting into today's problem, it is surrounded regions. It is one of the medium category problem and the input here is m cross n character matrix and consists of only x and zeros. So the problem statement says we have to capture all regions that are four directionally surrounded by x, and the region is captured by flipping all zeros into x in the surrounded region. So let's understand this with an example. So here is the given example in the problem statement. It is said that any portion of the matrix with zeros or O's that could be surrounded by X four directionally can be marked as X. That is, consider the regions that are having O's. So if you see, these three cells are having O's and all the O's are surrounded by X four directionally. So in this case, the above 2x covers these two O's, and here there is 2x, here again 1x, and here there is 1x. Also there is the x in the down side. So as this region can be surrounded by x in all direction, we can convert this to this. That is, we can mark all this O to x and convert this region. So if you see, there is one more O left in this matrix, which is here, but this O is not surrounded by X four directionally. It is having X towards left, right and upwards, but there is no X in the downside. So which means we cannot mark this to X. So this stays the same in the output. So how are we going to approach this? If you see, this problem is very similar to a number of islands problem in m cross n matrix, where we have to count the number of islands surrounded by water. Instead, here we have to mark them to x if it is an island. So like any matrix or m cross n problem, we do a traversal, either BFS or DFS, whichever is comfortable for you would work. So the overall idea of this traversal is we are going to find the O's which are not island, and we're going to mark them with a different sign. So let's go for a bigger example for better understanding. So consider this example. So it is said that we can mark a portion or a region to x if and only if they are surrounded by x, all x in all four directions. So this would happen if the region is completely inside the matrix, but if there is any O that is towards the end of any row or any column of the matrix that can't be surrounded by X in all directions. So first our job is to find the O's in any topmost or bottommost row or leftmost or rightmost column. So let's start with searching for O's in all these four directions. So let's start with the very first row. The O starts here. So what are we going to do is we are going to perform any traversal technique to find the connected O's or connected region with that particular O, because they can't be an island that can be marked to X. So here we are going to use a BFS technique to traverse and find a connected region. So from this O, we are going to add coordinates to our Q, because as any other BFS code, this also need a Q. So we are going to add 0, 1 to our Q so that we pick this coordinate. From here we explore all its neighbors four directionally to find if there is a O connected to it. Since we added this, we are going to mark it with a different sign other than X and O, because there are only two signs in the matrix. To identify it, we are going to update it with a different sign of, let's say, plus. So I'm going to update this with the plus. And again, the first row is done. We don't have any other O's in the first row, so it's time to move to our first column. So in this case, if you see the first column, we have two O's. So we are going to add these coordinates to our Q. So the coordinates are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is going to be 4, 0 and 5, 0. So there comes again similar to this towards the rightmost column. So rightmost column we have one row which is on the third row. So 3 comma 0 will also be added. Sorry, 3 comma 7 will be added, and in the last row we don't have any O's, so we are leaving it. So now once we add these coordinates to our queue, it's our job to update them with plus to differentiate they are already visited. So once we mark them, it's our job to pick the coordinates from here and perform a BFS algorithm to find the connected region and update them to plus as well. So first we are going to pick 0, 1, and from 0, 1 we are going to explore all its direction using BFS. I'm not going to show in detail how we are going to perform BFS because we have already done a detailed video on how the algorithm works. So we are going to update plus signs everywhere. Same way, we are going to pick the other coordinate 4, 0 and 5, 0 and put the plus mark wherever we find a O and make this region to complete plus. Same way, this goes here as well. So now we have updated all the O's with plus which cannot be converted to a region. So in this case, our matrix will be left with plus X and O's. So where do we have our O's? Those are the region we have to update to X because that is the surrounded region we have to update to mark as red. So in this case, we are going to mark them first to red. We iterate the array and simply update them to X so that we now have only plus and X left. So in this case, where all the plus is there, those are the places there needs to be O. So we are again going to update O to those places to mark them as such. So yes, this is the overall approach of how our code is going to work. It is just simple, just a three-step process. The first process is to find the cornermost O's, and from there we are going to apply BFS to each region and update them to plus. Why we use BFS here? To find the region where we have to put the plus. So once all the pluses are placed or any symbol you like are placed, we will be left with O's. Those are the O's which are surrounded by X. So we found the surrounded regions. So as per the problem statement, we have to update the surrounded regions to X. So we are going to update them to X. That is the second part of the problem. So once we are updated, that's it. We have only pluses and X's left. But we have to return our output in the form of O's and X. So in this case, where all the pluses are, that has to be swapped back to zeros. Sorry, O's. So yes, those updation will make the result array what we want, and we have to return that. So this is the overall idea of the problem. Let's go to the code now. So here is the code for this problem. So as I said, we are going to use a BFS technique. As usual, we need a queue to add the coordinates. So here, instead of using an integer array, I have declared a class point which has the variable int x and y, which is nothing but the coordinates of our matrix. So this way it would be easy. So we have our queue. So as I said, we are going to iterate the row and check whether there is O in first row as well as there is a O in the last row. So if there is a O, we are going to update them with the plus sign and add the coordinates to the queue. Same way it applies to the column as well. So we are going to iterate the first column as well as the last column to check whether there is a O. If there is a O, we are going to update it to plus and add those coordinates to our queue. So once we add the coordinates, we are going to iterate the queue till the queue gets empty, and we are going to check all its neighbors by checking the 4 direction coordinates, and if there is a O to its neighbors, we are going to update them to plus and again add those coordinates to the queue to continue exploring the region and updating them to plus. So once this BFS while loop is done, we will be having our matrix with all plus and X and O's. So now it's time to update the exact value where it has to be. So we iterate the complete matrix to check if there is a O, then it has to be a X. And if there is a plus, then it has to be a O, because where there will be O's, though in those surrounded regions, that has to be changed to X as per the problem statement. And this is a temporary character we had put for our identification. So those plus has to be changed to O. So yes, this is as simple as that, a simple BFS technique but with simple logic. So hope you understood the solution. Let's run and try. Yes, let's submit. So yes, we have completed our today's problem. So if you observe, most of the problems have been already asked in last year lead code challenges. So as these problems are repeating, if you are someone who is trying to solve this from last year, who's been consistent, you must be familiar with these problems already. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in comments. Thank you.